The Magnificent 11 is a 4-part circular walk of 11 miles linking 7 green spaces on Glasgow's south side, including local nature reserves and a site of special scientific interest. My wife had decided to take the day off work as it was my birthday so we could have a run together. Having a young child means it's very rare we ever run together. Normally she runs on a Saturday morning and I look after Heath. Then I run on a Sunday morning while she looks after him. She had never done the Magnificent 11. I'd done it once about 5 years ago, but when I did it, the route was 9 miles. I always thought it was strange the route is the Magnificent 11, but it's only 9 miles. But now I realise it's 9 because I missed out a bit and I didn't realise at the time. We started in Lynn Park. Lynn is a Scottish word for waterfall. The park has a steep-sided gorge following the White Cartwater. It's Glasgow's second largest park and was originally owned by the Maxwells of Pollock. The city acquired the park in 1919. The White Bridge was built in 1935 and is the oldest known iron bridge in Glasgow. Do not go over the White Bridge at the start, you go over at the end. Mills existed on both sides of the Lynn using water power to wash and soften woolen cloth and leather. We passed one at Snuff Mill Bridge. The mill was built in the 18th century to grind grain. Small-scale snuff, which is powdered tobacco, was milled here from 1814. Okay. A nondescript entrance leads to Court Knowe, which is either pronounced now or no, or something else, I'm not very sure. Mary, Queen of Scots, is said to have looked on from here as her hastily formed army was defeated by the smaller forces of Regent Moray at the Battle of Langside on the 13th of May 1568. To the left across the road are the remains of Cathcart Castle, where Mary is reputed to have spent the night before the battle. Today, only the foundation stones remain. The Magnificent 7, I knew I'd make that mistake, the Magnificent 11 route is signposted. There are small yellow markers that show where to go next, but I'd say it's best not to rely on them. Sometimes they were pretty easy to spot, but at other times we needed to check a map and guide to work out which way to go. The first 2 sections to Cathcombraes are the easiest to navigate. It's also the section which is surprisingly hilly. The last 2 sections on and after Cathcombraes are much harder to navigate. If I was relying on yellow markers, I'd definitely have got lost. Castlemilk Garden. My wife is a garden designer, so we took a quick detour into Castlemilk Park walled garden before heading up a steady climb. The last time I was here there was no trees, which means these have grown very quickly, or my memory is playing tricks with me. My wife thinks it's my memory that's wrong. The instructions for this section weren't entirely clear, but there was a few yellow markers to help us get in the right direction, although we did have to rely on the map just to figure out where exactly to go. After some road running we ended up at Castlemilk Park, which was once part of the designed landscape and pleasure grounds of the now demolished Castlemilk House. Since 2009, Castlemilk Housing Association, along with other Castlemilk Park steering group members and volunteers, have helped to transform the park from a perceived no-go area into a much-loved community asset. The fish pond marks the area where the Grand House used to be.
Yeah, there, it just goes through.
And this would have been the entrance to the house. After the park, we looked for the entrance to Cathcombraes Park. This area was used during the 2014 Commonwealth Games for the mountain biking competition. When my dad lived in Glasgow, he was a member of Cathcombraes Golf Course. He put my brother and I's name down to join when we were born, and it wasn't until 21 years later that our names got to the top of the list and we were invited to join. There was only one catch. We had to play a round of golf with the club captain first, and then he would decide if we were the type of person that they wanted to let in. I declined their offer. I didn't want to join a club that checks if I'm the right type of person. It reminds me of the time I went to Musselburgh Golf Course to play a round of golf. The course was empty, so I thought I'd be able to get on easily, but they took one look at me and said, "You can't play here. but the other course in Musselburgh might take you. Not sure what they disliked about me, but I've never been back. And yes, the other course did take me. I'd rather be a member there. The top of Cathkin Braes is marked by a viewpoint. From here there's great views across Glasgow over to the Campsie Hills and beyond. The route continues along the top, passing a TV mast and a wind turbine. There was quite a few people out walking dogs or going for a stroll, but I'd probably avoid the area in the dark, as it does feel like I left civilization behind, even though I was only a few minutes from Glasgow. Getting to the top was an achievement, as it meant that the second half should be mostly downhill. Although I later learned the viewpoint wasn't the actual top. It reminded me of the time I got to the top of Kilimanjaro. Not the real top. That would be the bit the map claims to be the top. I got to my top. I'd never planned or desired to climb Kilimanjaro, but the opportunity arose, so at short notice I decided to do it. My thought was it can't be that hard. Even Cheryl Cole had done it in a comic relief charity TV show. I was fit, I could run marathons, I could bike for miles, but I hadn't considered altitude sickness. From the moment I arrived in Tanzania, I felt ill. I'd left Edinburgh, which was at sea level, and within 24 hours I was at Camp 1 at an altitude of nearly 2,000 metres. A porter saw I was ill, so he offered me a custard cream. I'm not sure a sweet biscuit is a cure for altitude sickness. If sweet biscuits are a medicine, then I've eaten so many that I should never get ill. Each day I felt worse and worse. I barely ate and I slept appallingly. Most days I was walking only a few hundred metres before I had to disappear behind a boulder to throw up. Yet on summit day I woke up and felt great. Unfortunately it was too late. I didn't have the energy to get to the top. Once I got as far as I could, I turned to the porter and said, "I'm heading down." The two of us then headed down whilst everyone else headed up. For the first time since I'd started walking, the mountain was empty of people. There was no queue of walkers, no waiting for people to get my way. There was just silence and an amazing view of the sun as it came up. I'd got to my top and it was great. Would I have had the same experience if I'd gone to the top? Would I have enjoyed sharing the top with everyone else? I'll never know, but I don't feel I missed out. The lesson here is, don't worry if you fail. Sometimes failing is the best bit. Embrace your top. This was the point where I took a wrong turn when I originally did the Magnificent 11. At the bottom of this hill, you turn left and look for a small path that runs alongside hedges. It's not very clear that this is the way, so we had to double check the guide. It said, cross road with care, turn left and immediately right, a round gate into lane. Continue between hedgerows to Tarmac Road by Pidmire House. Continue straight past second large house on left. Where road goes left, go straight ahead, round short wall across boardwalk. Continue, turn right on Old Road, up to Field Gate and go left to Main Road. I think you can see why we look confused.
Road goes left, go straight ahead, round short wall across boardwalk. Scariest?
Definitely didn't do this bit.
No?
No.
I admit at this point I had no idea where in Glasgow we were. We spotted the road and then you have to walk along it slightly and look for a very, very small sign on the other side of the road to know where to cross. Once we got through the gate, the path was quite overgrown, but it was quite easy to see where to go.
Walk down to bottom.
This section also comes with a warning on the official route guide. It says, this section feels quite remote, so some navigation skills and outdoor footwear are required. And 2 fields may have livestock. It's strongly advised not to take dogs, even on a lead, across these fields.
Signs there.
Once we left the field, we joined a farm road. It passes by the site of the Carn Booth anti-aircraft battery, which was one of 45 built to defend Glasgow and Clyde in World War II. There is still evidence of its original 4 gun emplacements, along with the command post and armament store. It also has a radar mast, but not the radar mast you see here. That's much newer. After the mast, we entered the Cart and Kiddock Valley, which is a site of special scientific interest. It is approximately 48 hectares of mixed, deciduous gorge woodland fringing the White Cart Water and the Kiddock Burn. It's predominantly ash, oak, birch and elm, with flora including wood, anemone, dog's mercury, sanisil and bluebells. Can you tell I googled this
Straight
bit?
for the bag and straight for the door.
I don't remember seeing many signs showing the way around the section, so we kept the river on our left-hand side and stuck to the obvious paths. At one point we reached the Lynn Crematorium. There's a path that goes round it. My wife had done a race here in early spring, and her memory of it was that it was really muddy and a bit of a slog to get through. Thankfully it was pretty dry today and there was only a few small patches of mud.
And it's muddy and it's been dry for
Down at the left.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Lynn Park you're looking for?
I just found that.
Okay, aye. Go down.
If you're ever unsure where to go, ask a dog walker. They'll probably have walked every trail here a million times. The last section is through Lynn Park where we originally started. It finishes with a nice long run downhill and then across the white bridge that we avoided at the start of
White
this
Car
video.
Bridge,
Although there was
Was
one
that
last
finished?
check of the map.
I think.
Gross. Turn left at T junction to reach Meadow and information panel. Veer slight left and head downhill to White Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, is there?
There we go.
We didn't get lost.
We didn't get lost, but I would say if you hadn't brought instructions, we'd have got lost.
Well,
I don't think you can do it with the signposts.
no, I don't think you could do it with signposts alone. No, I think you need to follow the.
Because even when you came out of Captain Park and you're supposed to go now down left, down into the wee car park, through the lane that's not signposted.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't be able to guess any of that.
No, yeah, it's just a PDF on the website. That is pretty well, but there was a few serious points where you're like you needed the signs
Yeah.
to be
But I think that's 10.82 miles, so
to sail many miles.
so maybe we took a shortcut somewhere. I think.
No, give us a little bit of time. Sure, we get up to the gates, and
Yeah.
it's a morning out, isn't it?
It's a successful morning.
A
Right?
bit more casual pace
There you go.
than
It's still
field. Yeah.
there's a shortcut to get to the car.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a good route. I think it's very varied. I just think
Which is nice, yeah.
it's quite hard if you don't do that regularly. You would still spend all your time
Navigating.
navigating and looking for where the next bit is. And
Yeah, I agree there. So, yeah, nice and varied. I mean, it was dry, so I think it could get pretty muddy. And
I think that last section would be awful if it was wet, muddy.
yeah, yes,
And,
and it is.
as you've experienced in the past doing it
Yeah,
in rain and mud. Yeah, overall, I think it's good. Just hard. Harder than I thought.
hillier.
And hilly on I thought.